What's up, guys? I'm Mist Passiert, and I am stoked to be one of 5 YouTubers bringing you an exclusive first look at General Kenobi. General Kenobi, if you haven't figured it out already, is going to be the AAT Tank Takedown Raid reward character for heroic modes. He is a Jedi tank, and he is much more than just a tank. He is incredible, guys. I don't think I can stress that enough. If you didn't know already, guys, I was one of 5 YouTubers who were invited out to EA Studios this last week. Warrior from Team Instinct, Mobile Gamer, Ramon aka Remon from Team Skunk, and Arnold T101 was out there with me. We all got to meet Jesse, we all got to meet John Salerno, and we got an awesome first look at General Kenobi and the Tank Takedown Raid. And I can tell you one thing, guys, you do not want to take this raid lightly. It is a hard raid, but if you stick around till the end of my video, I've got some great raid gameplay at the end, and it is awesome, guys. You're going to want to check that out. Now, General Kenobi, getting him to gear 9, he requires a droid collar and 2 stun guns. That's 2 stun guns you got to farm, but it's just 1 droid collar to get him to gear 9. At gear 9 to get him to gear 10, he's going to need a Nubian tech design, a thermal detonator, and another stun gun. So that's 2 pieces of raid gear so far. Then he's going to require stun cuffs, more stun cuffs, and a Carbonti power array. Now let's check out General Kenobi with some mods. We got to play with Ramon's mods here, so we were able to beef him up quite a bit. Now granted, these stats are subject to change, so don't take them for the gospel truth, but at 81 max gear, he's sitting at roughly 50,000 health and protection before mods and 121 speed. So it's not a super fast tank, but he's not super slow. You're going to want to probably put a little bit of speed on him to make him more viable. He's also rocking pretty good armor and pretty good resistance, which those are both incredibly important stats to have for your tank. Taking a peek at the mods we did put on him, I really wish I had these on my account, but we did put a 30 speed mod and a variety of other mods that got him up over 200 speed, and we were still able to maintain a crit damage mod set bonus, so that was really cool. Taking a look at his abilities here, his basic attack is called Intuitive Strike. It deals physical damage to a target enemy with a 75% chance to grant Foresight to an ally that doesn't have it for 2 turns. If all allies are buffed, it deals double damage. It's important to note that you're not going to be wasting that Foresight by giving it to a random ally that already has Foresight, so that's really nice. His first special ability is the Negotiator. It dispels all debuffs from the allies and grants them the opposite buff for 2 turns if there are any. All allies that were not debuffed gain Retribution for 2 turns. General Kenobi then gains 50% turn meter. This is an ability that definitely turns the tide of a battle. His next special ability is called Lead the Charge. It deals physical damage to a target enemy and then grants a random ally offense up for 2 turns, and then calls all buffed allies to assist, dealing 30% less damage. Granted, you're going to have a little bit of a damage reduction on all of your allies that are assisting, but it calls all allies who are buffed. General Kenobi's leader ability is called the 212th Attack Battalion Commander. Jedi and clone allies gain 30% max health and 70% defense. After a Jedi ally uses a team healing special ability, all other allies at full health are called to assist, dealing 50% less damage. That's all allies after the heal is applied. When a clone ally uses a special ability, they gain a buff specific to their character type. Attackers will gain advantage, support will gain stealth, and tanks will gain taunt for 1 turn. Yes, you read that right, 5s can taunt. His unique ability, Soresu. At the end of each of his turns, General Kenobi has a 65% chance to gain Foresight for 2 turns. Whenever another ally is critically hit, if General Kenobi is alive, they gain critical hit immunity for 1 turn, and General Kenobi gains taunt for 1 turn. His kit is insane, guys. Unlike Han Solo, the Rancor Raid reward character, General Kenobi is incredible, guys. He turns characters that you would never have thought you'd ever see again in the game or use again in the game into completely viable characters in all aspects of the game. Notice here also that Ahsoka Tano started this engagement with crit hit immunity. That is part of her new synergy with Jedi Knight Anakin. And if you ever wanted to punish somebody for pulling an AoE out on you, you just saw how incredibly awesome these assists are. It's incredible. And Ahsoka Tano, yep, special attack is a group special heal. As long as the target is over 50% health, Ahsoka Tano is going to call everybody else who is at 100% health to assist. If you ever wanted to make Bear Safi actually do some damage, you just saw how to do it. So here I kind of spliced up the video a little bit because a lot of these were single attacks, but I wanted to show you how much damage Obi-Wan Kenobi is doing with his basic attack. Now granted, these crits are with crit damage increase through mods, so he is doing 211% damage with his crits, but he's still doing a lot of damage to these targets. Even with the damage reduction effects from those abilities, your allies are still going to be crushing their opponents. It is incredibly awesome. It's a great feeling when you press that button and you just watch everybody smash your target. It is so fun. Right here, I was really hoping Lando Calrissian would use his AoE just to trigger all of these Retribution and have everybody smash him, but he just wouldn't AoE, so unfortunately didn't get the AoE Retribution smash, but that's alright. So let me go a little bit more in depth into all of General Kenobi's abilities here. His basic ability, it is giving Foresight to a random ally that doesn't already have it. That stipulation should have been built into Chief Nebbit's basic attack. I get so frustrated when Chief Nebbit rebuffs one of his allies with protection up that already have protection up. They don't need protection up. You know, I'd much rather he had that stipulation where he gave protection up to a random ally that didn't have it for 2 turns. And he's also doing double damage when all other allies are buffed. That includes himself. He has to have a buff himself if he's going to do double damage with his basic attack. His special ability that removes negative status effects, swaps them, and grants Retribution is incredibly versatile. It can be used when you just want to give everybody Retribution, or it can be used when everybody's super debuffed. I mean, think about using him against Darth Vader. Your enemy uses Force Crush, and General Kenobi turns right around and turns every single damage over time into a health over time, all of the speed down into speed up. That is an incredible turn of events right there. He is so awesome, guys. His special ability that calls all buffed allies to attack, even if he didn't add those buffs, you've got Yoda granting battle meditation. You've got Rex with his tenacity up. You've got Luminara with her heal over time. Any number of characters. Qui-Gon Jinn and his humbling blow granting everybody offense up. You turn right around with General Kenobi and smash your opponents with everybody buffed with offense up. The possibilities are endless, guys. Now his leader ability is truly a leader ability that you should be getting from a character that is going to be as hard to get as General Kenobi. Granting all Jedi and clones 70% defense and 30% max health. That's nuts. Allowing Jedi healers to call in assists. It's insane. And then my personal favorite, granting clone troopers a special buff based on their character type. You just saw Rex gain stealth multiple times because he's support, and if you're throwing in 5s, he becomes a monster when he uses his special ability because he gains Taunt for 1 turn. Now, the one concern that a lot of players have with that leader ability, or are going to have with that leader ability, is that the Jedi heal stipulation. Obviously, on defense in arenas, your AI is not going to be calling in a heal when everybody is at max health. So that's just not going to happen. But that's also where Ahsoka Tano starts to shine, because her special ability is a heal, and she does use that ability regardless of team strength. So throwing Ahsoka Tano on your squad may not be a bad idea, especially if you're throwing in a squad with Jedi Knight Anakin because of that new synergy they've got. Whenever she uses that special ability and at the start of every encounter, she's going to have that critical hit immunity, so she's going to be a lot more survivable, plus she's not going to be losing those special stats from her unique ability, which is incredibly useful. Now, his leader ability obviously grants him a chance to gain Foresight, and then it also gives any ally who is critically hit by an attack crit hit immunity for 1 turn, and forces General Kenobi to taunt for 1 turn. So I fast forwarded here just a little bit to show you how awesome this is. So see right there, Emperor Palpatine critically hit Jedi Knight Anakin and the cloned Sergeant. They all gained crit hit immunity, and then also gave General Kenobi taunt. And of course, even though he stunned 4 characters, General Kenobi solved that problem and also went ahead and gave anybody who wasn't stunned Retribution. So let's get moving on to the part of the video that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for, and that is the AAT Tank Takedown Raid. We were able to play around with phase 1 of the raid, and we found out just how incredibly difficult it is. Now granted, this version of the raid is not quite the same version that is going to roll out. They did change the overall health on phase 1 quite a bit, but overall they didn't really change much of the damage that these AI are really doing. My first impressions phase 1 strategy would probably be to recommend taking out the B2 Super Battle Droid that we are targeting right now. First and foremost, he is a huge nuisance. He's constantly taking away all of your buffs and really messing up the game for you. Right there you got to see Obi-Wan really flip the switch on all of those debuffs that everybody was rocking, so that was really nice. And then also being able to clear that B2 Super Battle Droid with his special ability. Now the reason you don't want to take out any of the other droids that General Grievous has with him is he gains more power, more speed, more attacks as you attack the other droids. So try to either stun or just ignore those droids. They will put expose and other negative status effects on you, but they aren't as big of a pain in the rear as that B2 Super Battle Droid is. So take out the B2 Super Battle Droid, either stun or ignore these IG-100 Magna Guards, and then just go to town on General Grievous. Now this General Grievous is not the General Grievous that we all know and love. He's far more powerful. He is doing a lot more damage, obviously. He's a raid boss, and his abilities are going to be a little bit different. So you want to definitely take all of those factors into consideration. You notice that IG-100 is taunting. You're going to want to make sure that you have Qui-Gon Jinn or another character who is capable of removing that taunt. That is going to be a huge thing for you to make sure that you have. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck attacking that IG-100, letting General Grievous go to town on you, let the B2 Super Battle Droid constantly take away your buffs, and you're not going to make any headway towards defeating General Grievous. Now let's talk about General Grievous abilities inside the raid. Those are important to pay attention to because watching those cooldowns is going to give you a good idea of when you need to be taking out the droids that are with him and when you need to be focusing on General Grievous. His ability Baneful Laugh inflicts speed down on all enemies for 1 turn with a 50% chance to also inflict tenacity down for 2 turns, then summon up to 3 droid allies to the battle. That's the one that brings back all the droids. His next ability, Grievous Pain, deals physical damage to all allies with a 65% chance to inflict 3 damage over time effects for 2 turns. And then most important of all is Tactical Maneuvering. Every 7th time that Grievous takes damage, Grievous and another random ally gain 100% turn meter and reset their cooldowns. That ally also gains Taunt for 1 turn, and Grievous gains the Tactical Maneuvering effect for 3 turns. On Heroic, that's 25% offense and 30% turn meter whenever another ally is attacked. That is when you do not want to attack the other droids, which is why having someone like Qui-Gon Jinn or Mace Windu is going to be a huge bonus to your squad. That about wraps up everything I've got for you guys. I do have an interview with Jesse coming out very soon, as soon as I can get that video finished. And then also, I will have links in the description below to all of the other YouTubers who are out at EA with me. Please like, favorite, subscribe. take care, and I will catch y'all later.